you hear about the Supreme Lord, he is very auspicious. When you hear, you get 10 times benefit. If you say from your mouth, you get 1,000 times benefit. All of you unmute your mutedness and repeat after me these prayers. Okay? We all together, okay? We always try to be impersonal, not showing our faces. Okay? That's okay. At least unmute your mics. Repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayam Udirayat
Tadho Jayamudhiraye
Nashtaprayeshu Abhatreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke
Bhaktiri Bhavati Nayestike
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtyam
Ishvara Parama Krishna
Ishvara Parama
Parama
Krishna
Krishna
Satchidananda Vigraha
Satchidananda Vigraha
Anadiradir Govinda
Anadiradir Govinda
Sarvakarana Karanam
Sarvakarana Karanam
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki
Nandanaya Cha
Nanda Gopa Kumaraya
Nanda Gopakumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna, dear all. Okay, so excuse me. So today I was requested to speak on 17th chapter, 12th shloka number 12. Okay, are you able to see my screen sharing? Screen sharing?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, okay. So we'll do the shloka, then I'll elaborate with some examples from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Okay, okay, okay. So I'm sure we can discuss even glories of Putra, but let us finish this one. Even at the end we have time, we can talk some about Ekadasi as well. Okay, sorry. So before I go into the 17th chapter, 12th shloka, I would like to give some synopsis of the chapter, 17th chapter, where chapter 16 ends and where the chapter 17 begins. And the 16th chapter, Krishna is instructing Arjuna. What is that? What is the Shastra is the basis for the do and don't. The scriptures are the basis. That's why Prabhupada said books are the basis. Why books are the basis? Books have been instructed what to do, what not to do. That's why Shastras is the basis for the do's and don'ts. Hence, one should follow the Shastric injunctions with faith. Because sometimes question comes, oh, I believe in Krishna, but I don't follow Shastra. That doesn't work out that way. We have to have faith in Krishna. Have faith in Krishna means you should have faith in the Shastra also. Okay, so Arjuna now questions the position of those who deny Shastra. but who worships Krishna. Look at, we deny, we don't read scriptures, we don't accept scriptures, but we accept Krishna as the supreme. That doesn't work that way. And Krishna explains very beautifully to Arjuna, we should have first faith in the Shastra, worship, food, sacrifice, charity, and penance. And all these things have to be simultaneously carried out to get out of this remorse of material nature. and also, Krishna explains in the different modes how a living entity acts. Okay, and chapter 17 explains the meaning of 17th chapter is with faith in Shastra, faith in Shastra, offer everything to me and fight. That is the what you call the title of this 17th. With faith in Shastra, offer everything to me and fight. Fighting is inevitable. Whatever chapter, starting from chapter 1 to 18, fighting has to be performed. Krishna is not giving up board fight. He is saying, yes, have this fight, have this fight, have this knowledge fight, do this karma fight. So finally, fighting has to be performed by Arjuna. So this is about the 17th chapter. I'll just, in 2-3 minutes, I'll summarize. So shloka from 1 to 6, Krishna explained faith should be based on Shastra, and faith without Shastra is demonic. Look at that, how important knowing about Shastras, reading scriptures is what? Faith should be based on Shastra. We all have a faith. Faith is based on certain facts, certain experiences, right? Here, our Shastra is the faith, the basis. Why? Because Shastra has full of narrations, illustrations, examples of the all Vaishnava Acharyas, important personalities like Prahalad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, etc., etc. When we read Shastra with their experiences, their realizations, then we get faith in Shastra and Krishna. That was the first to 6 shloka explained in this chapter. 7 to 10, Krishna explaining to Arjuna question, food in the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. What kind of, and we all know that we have 3 modes of material nature. We have to transcend the modes of material nature to come to the pure bhakti. But how, when a person in the mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness, what kind of foods he eats? 7 to 10 explained. And 11 to 13 coming, actually I can just read summary, 7 to 10. The food the people enjoy, their sacrifice, austerity, and charity also have 3 divisions. Food in goodness, juicy, wholesome, healthy, and pure. That's the food in goodness. And food in passion, overly spiced, overpowering flavors. That's the food in passion. And food in ignorance, old, decomposed, untouchable. Prabhupada always recommended when we are making food or prasadam for deities. Prabhupada always, even sabji can make 1 hour before, but rice should be just be made before 30 minutes before offering to deities. That fresh food has to be there. That is a mode of goodness, or maybe beyond mode of goodness. The food should be offered like that. Okay, that's a mode of goodness. So like that, Krishna explained about the foods 7 to 10 in this chapter. Now coming to 11 to 13, okay, I'm going to talk about 12, but I just want to give the synopsis. 11 to 13 explains sacrifices in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. See, everything falls in the 3 modes of material nature. Okay, so what kind of sacrifices in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance? I'll just read the meaning of it, then we'll go to shloka. Sacrifices in different modes. Goodness, done out of duty, without fruitive desire, follows Vedic prescription. That's a sacrifices done in the mode of goodness. Number 2, passion, done for the fruitive rewards or pride. Number 3, ignorance, done without faith, without Vedic prescription, without prasad distribution, without mantra chanting and charity to the priest. This comes under the mode of ignorance. And we all know that very well that even the 3 Vedas, the Vedas, 4 Vedas we have, the Vedic injunctions written, compiled by Vedavyas, that 90% of the Vedas fall in the Karma Kanda section, because Vedas have been divided Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, and Upasana Kanda. 90% of the Vedas will only teach Karma Kanda section. Do this, you get this benefit. So all belongs to three modes of material nature. Okay, that's why when Vyasadeva wrote 17 Puranas, he was not happy. And he went to spiritual master Narada Muni, asked, why I'm not happy? He said, because you did an abominable job. He chastises in the first canto, I'm sure, 6th or 8th chapter, I don't remember exactly. He chastises, you misguided people by writing this. You did not, you could have glorified Krishna in the beginning itself, everything would have been taken care. But you have written 17 Puranas, nowhere you did not glorify Supreme Lord Krishna. You gave Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, which is useless for the human beings. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. What kind of moksha? That moksha binds you back again in this material world. That's why all the Vedic injunctions, of course, Vedas are knowledge. There is, if you read the Jnana Kanda part of Vedas, talks about devotion service, that people are interested only in the Karma Kanda section. Karma karo to get the benefits. But the meaning of karma, the meaning of the Vedas is that Vedanta Sutras, Vyasadeva compiles. He says that karma karo to come out of karma. That is the intent of the Vedanta Sutras. Okay. So now we'll discuss about the 17th chapter, 12th sloka, what it explains here. Okay. Okay. Abhisanjayatu phalam. Anybody wants to, again, today is Ekadasi, it's your choice. It is a sale. You speak these words coming from Krishna's lotus mouth, repeat after me and get benefit. Okay, don't try to be on the mute. Abhisanjayatu phalam.
Abhisandhayatu phalam.
Dhamvartam api chaivayat.
Dambhartam api chayat.
Ijjate bharata shrestha.
Ijyate bharata
Tam yajñam vidhi rajasam.
tam yagyam vidhirajasam.
Anybody would like to say the shloka? Please go ahead. Feel free.
Abhisandhayatu phalam
Abhisanjayatu phalam.
dambhartam pichayvayat
Ambartam api chaivayat.
ijjayate bharata sreshtha
Ijjate bharata shrestha.
tam yagyam vidhi rajasam.
Tam yajñam vidhi rajasam. Reading one sloka today, it guarantees your eternal life, eternal account, Krishna writes. Please take this opportunity on Vaikuntha Ekadasi day. Anybody else would like to read shloka?
Abhisandhayatu phalam.
Abhisanjayatu phalam.
phalam
Dambhartam api chayvayat.
Dhambartam api chaivayat.
Ijyate bharat sreshtam tam.
Ijjate bharata shresthantam.
Yagnam vidhirajasam.
Yajnam vidhirajasam. Anyone wants to recite shloka?
Abhisandhyatu phalam
Abhisanjayatu phalam.
dambharatam api chaivayat
Dhambartam api chaivayat.
ijyate bharata shrestha
Ijjate bharata shrestha.
tam yajnam vidhirajasam.
Tam yajnam vidhirajasam. Anyone else?
Abhisandhayatu phalam
Abhisanjayatu phalam.
dambharatma api chaiva yata
Dhambartam api chaivayat.
ijjate bharata shrestha
Ijjate bharata shrestha.
tam yajyam vidhi rajasam.
Tam yajnam vidhirajasam. Anyone else? Shalom. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. Please repeat after me. But the sacrifice performed for some material benefit
But the
But the
sacrifice
sacrifice is performed
some material benefit
for the sake of pride,
or
For the sake of
for
pride,
For the sake of pride,
O chief of the Bharatas,
O
chief of the
chief
Bharatas,
thus
you should know to be in the mode of passion.
you
you
should
know to be
the
in the mode of
in
passion.
the mode
Look at the sacrifice for some material benefit, including pride, right? Okay, so that comes under the mode of passion. Okay, so translation, let's go to the translation here. Purport by Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Any volunteer to read the purport, please?
Yeah, Prabhu, I can read this.
Go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Prabhuji, sorry. It disappeared. Okay. Sometimes, purport
Purport by
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Sometimes sacrifices and rituals are performed for elevation to the heavenly kingdom or for some material benefits in this world. Such sacrifices or ritualistic performances are considered to be in the mode of passion.
Passion. Look at that. Anything, thanks, Prabhuji, for reading. So, anything that in this world performed, okay, in the any mode, for example, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, anything associated in the three modes of material nature that, leads, for example, the sacrifices I read before, sacrifices done for the sake of elevation to heavenly kingdom for material benefits in the mode of passion. So sacrifice or ritualistic performance considered to be the mode of passion. Okay, we do, but the saying what Lord Sri Krishna is that if I take any shlokas or what kind of how we do in different modes of perform, maybe different modes, because what happens is that all starts from where we originate, where our birth takes place. If you take the 8.6, the Krishna explains that every living entity acquires a certain type of state when you take the birth. He says that whatever stage of this yam smaramba, I think you all know this shloka, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So when you take birth from our mother's womb, every living entity comes with a certain consciousness. That consciousness depends on his previous activities, previous inclinations, previous activities. Based on that, we get the body. Some people get with a passionate body, some people get the mode of goodness body, some people get the mode of ignorance body, etc. So that when we start with that body, and when you grow up, then we do actions based on that propensities, whatever action whatever consciousness we attain when you take this body. Okay, so, and in that case, what happens is that we do perform our actions based on that one, whatever, because as Prabhupada says that there are 8.4 million species of living entities, right? Why 8.4? Because we have 8.4 million desires we have on this planet. If you take all the desires and count each desire, and each desire, Prabhupada gives one body to it. Okay, so each desire, we have 8.4 million desires in this planet. That's why he says there are 8.4 million species. Each desire is attributed to one body. Okay, and all these 8.4 million species acquires when they take birth a mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. So that is the stage where we start. With that intention, with that consciousness, we try to act in that capacity. Okay, somebody takes the birth with the time of death. He takes he was doing all pious activities in the previous lifetime. When he quits his body, okay, he comes with the mode of goodness body. With that mode of goodness body, when he performs actions, okay, and the results are accordingly. Same way, but even when you follow Vedic scriptures, Vedic injunctions also not providing what we need. All Vedic injunctions give 80% karma kanda section. Do this, do that, you get this result. But the the pure devotional service, as Prabhupada explains in that, right? What is that? The pure devotional service, which is without jnana and karma, right? In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami Prabhupada explains beautifully that what is the shloka for the Anyabhilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anarrutam, Anukula Yena Krishna Anushirana, Bhakti Uttamam. Because a devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna has to be done without these three modes of material nature. How we can do that one? That is what called devotional service. When you involve in devotional service, what happens is that the Prabhupada included this devotional service. When we involve devotional service, the three modes action will be taken out. There is no action of the three modes. Even mode of goodness also not acting, pure devotional service. So that is where we have to slowly go from, because we are gruhasthas, we don't do pure bhakti, we do karma mishrama bhakti. As per Jiva Goswami in Sandarbhas, he explains what is the jnana mishrama bhakti, karma mishrama bhakti. We do all that. Our devotional service is not mixed with the jnana, mixed with the karma, etc. We do these things, and also in addition to those, we add three modes of material nature as well. So this whole potpourri of these things will become mixed, and that's okay, we can begin with. But as slowly we elevate, slowly and involve in more and more activities of this one, our bhakti has to be like this, explained by first canto, second chapter, 6th shloka, very beautiful shloka. We all have to by heart. Savaipam samparo dharmo, yato bhaktir dokshaje, ahetviki apritata yayatma suprasiddhati. Prabhupada writes beautifully here that the supreme occupation dharma for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. What is that? Loving devotional service. Such devotional service must be unmotivated, uninterrupted, to completely satisfy the self. What is that? Ahayatvaki apratihata. Ahayatvaki, unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service has to be done. But to begin with the Gruhastha life, we are all in Karma Mishrama Bhakti, Jnana Mishrama Bhakti, with the three modes are basically attacking us. But when we start involved in the process of bhakti, offering prasadam, etc., slowly we come to the pure transcendental platform. That may not happen day one, but when you involve in the process of this bhakti, slowly our consciousness get purified, and when our consciousness get purified, the elevation of the consciousness would be that you come to this process called Savaipam Samparo Dharma, Ahetvaki Aprithyata, uninterrupted, unmotivated. What does it mean? Prabhupada writes beautifully in this purport that, see, in this statement, see, the Sutta Goswami answers first question of the sages of Naimisharanya. What's the first question asked? They asked him, summarize the whole range of revealed scriptures and present the most essential parts so that fallen people or the people in general might easily take it up. He's asking, so Parikshit Maharaj is asking so beautifully, are we all reading our Bhagavatam class, how Parikshit Maharaj has been cursed by Shringi, right? Samyaka Rishi's son, and how he became the victim, even though Parikshit Maharaj did not deserve the death penalty, but he did not reject it, right? When the curse came from Shringi, he accepted it. And accepted, and also because he accepted the curse from the Shringi, whole Bhagavatam has been manifested. Look at that. A Vaishnava, whether he live or leaves this body, always does good for the human society. That is what Parikshit Maharaj, accepting the death penalty from the Shringi, because he accepted death, he went to spiritual master Sutta Goswami. Whole Bhagavatam has been manifested because of him. Okay, and he's asking first question, even though he's going away, he's leaving his body, but he did a great sacrifice, asking these questions. What could be the good for the human society? People are generally take it up. It's not a hard also. Generally take it up. The Vedas prescribe two different types of occupation for the human being, called Pravritti Marga and Nivritti Marga. Pravritti Marga means sense enjoyment, and the Nivritti Marga is path of self-renunciation. And when we are in the three modes of material nature, we are following pravritti marga. Why? Because each mode is always contaminated with the sense enjoyment. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. When you come out of that, that's called nivritti marga, which is called pure devotional service, called renunciation. The path of enjoyment is inferior, and the path of sacrifice for the supreme cause is superior. Look at that. Pravritti marga is inferior, nivritti marga is superior. The material existence of the living being is a diseased condition of life when you are in the three modes of material nature, and that is called diseased condition. We are all diseased in this world, material disease we have. Actual life is spiritual existence. What's called Brahma Bhuta existence. Brahma Bhuta prasannatma nashochati nakangshati samsarveshu labdeshu madbhakte labhate param prasanna. That is a real spiritual identity of us, spiritual existence, where life is eternal, blissful, full of knowledge. This is called Satchidananda Vigraha. Sat means eternal, Chit means knowledgeable, and Ananda is blissful. But in our day-to-day activities, there is no question of blissful, only eternal and knowledge is there. But blissful act only comes when you have the full knowledge of the Supreme Lord. Chapter 7 to 12. Material existence is temporary, illusory, and full of miseries. Look at that. Dukkhalayam ashvashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gataha. Material existence is temporary, illusory, and full of miseries. Nobody is enjoying here in this world. We all are suffering. There is no happiness at all. Happiness in the material world is only a gap between two miseries. Prabhupada explains beautifully. The happiness is only a gap between two miseries. There is the futile attempt to get rid of these miseries. We try to, and temporary cessation of misery falsely, because we try to solve the material problems. Okay, let me take care of this problem so that I'll be happy. No, it's like a Bombay. If you go to Bombay on the platform, the train, one train leaves, next train comes. Again, fully jammed. Next train comes, fully jammed. Our life is like that. One problem is solved. Next is waiting in the queue. Other problem comes. That is solved. Next is waiting in the queue. And our whole life attempts goes just solving these problems, forgetting about real identity, who we are. Therefore, the path progressive material enjoyment, which is temporary, miserable, temporary, illusory, is inferior. But devotional service to the Supreme Lord, which leads one to eternal, blissful, and all cognizant, means all knowledgeable, is called superior quality of the occupation. That is all Savaipumsam Paro Dharmo. This is sometimes polluted. Look at that, this profile. This is we are superior, we are Atma, we are not this body, right? Second chapter explains beautifully, we are not this body, we are soul. If the soul, what is our occupational duty? Because our occupational duty has been polluted with the three modes of material nature, and we are in the material consciousness, we think what we are doing in the world is a real thing. But here, Prabhupada explains beautifully, this is sometimes polluted when mixed with the inferior quality. Why? Because we are contaminated with the material disease condition, and we think what we are doing right, but that's not correct. Unless devotional service, the Supreme Lord is not involved, that we are in the material conception of the life. Only way is that pure bhakti. Of course, no, we don't have pure bhakti, but at least marching towards pure bhakti is the one which we all have to hanker for. For example, Prabhupada gives adoption of devotional service for material gain is certainly an obstruction to the progressive path of renunciation. Adoption of devotional service for the material gains. Okay. Nothing wrong in that also, because Bhagavatam also explains that akama karma samoha moksha kama vidayate. Even if you want material benefits, go to Krishna. But pure, that should not be our end goal. Like Dhruva Maharaj went to forest to gain the material benefit or kingdom greater than his grandfather, Lord Brahma. He had a material motive behind that. But when you come to Krishna, Krishna purifies our desires. Okay, that's why the bhakti should not be stopped. When you involve bhakti day and night, all our three modes of material nature will be slowly eradicated, and also slowly our desires will be purified. He put as a high pass filter. In the filtering, there's a high pass filter, low pass filter. When you put high pass filter, all our high desires are filtered and they will be given to us so that we can utilize those high pass filters in the process of bhakti. Look at that. Renunciation or abjugation for ultimate good is certainly better occupation than enjoyment in the diseased condition of the life. Prabhupada writes, renunciation or abjugation, ultimate good is certainly better. If something in the material world which is not leading towards Krishna Bhakti, that is basically disease condition of the life. Since enjoyment only aggravates the symptoms of a disease, increases its duration. We have material desires so many, then they're not fulfilled. Then we hanker for it. It aggravates our symptoms of disease and increases our suffering in this material world. Therefore, devotional service to the Lord must be pure in quality. That is what we are discussing today. The mode of passion, mode of goodness, mode of ignorance. Devotional service to the Lord should be pure in quality. Then you may ask question, how purity comes? Yes, purity comes because as we practice bhakti sincerely with these scriptures, that's the way a question of the scriptures comes into picture. How should be followed the pure in quality? Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Krishna explains in a number of slokas how devotion has to be purified. Okay, Mamavam Sojival, okay. He says that, Manmanava Madbhakto, Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru, become my devotee, meditate upon me. Today is Ekadasi. I know we're all following, some of them are fasting, some of them eating Ekadasi Prasadam. Yes, that is needed. Why? Because it gives some Jnata Sukriti. Jnata Sukriti, non-pious credits we get. So we have to follow all these vratas and reading scriptures and faith in scriptures. Scriptures are very essential that give the direction for our life. If you are just having faith in Krishna but not faith in scriptures, Prabhupada writes that is not is a demonic without. Faith should be based on Shastra, and faith without Shastra is demonic. Okay, the Prabhupada beautifully writes on this one. So this is our devotional service. And I'll refer one more, my favorite shloka here from Bhagavatam. Very good shloka. Here, what happens when we are not in the pure bhakti or in the mixed with the devotional, mixed with the three modes of material nature? Here, right? Dharma svanustita pumsan vishvakasena katasya na utpadaye jadiratim samayaivahi kevalam. Prabhupada writes, the occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor. Look at that. If you are not following Shastra, and if you are using a mental concoction and philosophical speculation, Prabhupada writes, a mental concoction, philosophical speculation has to be removed to come to the pure bhakti level. Here, the occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor. We think, if I do this way, I can satisfy Krishna. No, we should not have, we should follow the Shastra, what Krishna said in the Shastra, what our Acharya saying the Shastra, that has to be followed, not with our mental concoction. That's a useless labor. If they do not provoke attraction, and thus useless labor doesn't attract, na utpadayed yadirati means that doesn't attack the attraction of Krishna. And that is basically a donkey's work. The useless labor means the donkey's work. Okay, so this has to be performed in such a way that it attracts rati. Rati means attraction for the Krishna. Okay, this is how explained. And finally, Prabhupada writes in one of the shlokas in Bhagavad Gita that how a devotion, how all actions, what we perform, how we can give it to Krishna, how we can offer to Krishna. He writes beautifully for the Gruhasthas how we have to follow bhakti, how we can come out of these three modes of material nature. Here, yat karoshi yadastasi yad juhosi dadasi yat japasyati kaunteya tat kurusvamadarpanam. Prabhupada writes, translation to Prabhupada ki jai. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. To me. Look at that. How authenticated Krishna gives to me. He did not say to Shiva, Brahma, any demigod, to me only. That shows supremacy of Lord Sri Krishna, supreme personality of Godhead Lord Sri Krishna, who has 6 opulences 100%. Bhagavan. What is that Bhagavatam? Says, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Lokyam. I forgot the shloka. Okay. So that shloka is Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Right? He has 6 opulences 100%. That's why he's saying, offering to me anything, whatever you do. Look at that. Whatever you do means we do so many activities morning to evening. Whatever you eat, whatever you offer, or give away as a charity or anything, and whatever austerities you perform. Today we are performing austerity of, for example, some of them are fasting, and some of them are eating Ekadasi Prasadam only. Some of them are only drinking water. Some of them are eating only fruits. Those are austerities you perform. But when the austerities are performed, we become proud. Oh, I am fasting with Nitjal. You know that? We'll go tell 10 people I am fasting. Or, we show put off. No. That should not be done. Hey, whatever is performed for the sacrifice for Krishna and offering to Krishna, we should be doing that. That then it becomes on the platform of bhakti level, pure bhakti. Otherwise, it becomes a show put off. And that's what we read in the shloka also here, right? If you look at this one here, the sacrifice performed for material benefit. Oh, I want to get a famous name. I am fasting. You tell 10 people. Or, oh, I am going for this distribution. You 10 people, put pictures, this, that. No, that's not. That comes under the mode of passion. Pride. Chief of course, sometimes we put to encourage people. I'm not saying that one. But sometimes it becomes purely show off. And that all comes under the mode of the passion. Okay. And here, see that 927 is that how it's, I'll just read a small part. Any volunteer to read this purport, please?
Yes, Prabhu.
Go ahead.
Dandavat pranam to everyone. Thus, it is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget Krishna in any circumstances. Everyone has to work for maintenance of his body and soul together. And Krishna recommends herein that one should work for him. Everyone has to eat something to live. Therefore, he should accept the remnants of foodstuff offered to Krishna. Any civilized man has to perform some religious ritualistic ceremonies. Therefore, Krishna condemns, do it for me.
Krishna recommends. Yeah.
Krishna recommends, do it for me, and this is called Archana. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Krishna says, give it to me. And this means that all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Krishna consciousness movement. Nowadays, people are very much inclined to the meditational process, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practices meditating on Krishna 24 hours a day by chanting the Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
The Hare Krishna mantra round his beats, he is surely the greatest meditator and greatest yogi, as substantiated by the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
Oh, thank you so much, Ashish Prabhu. Thank you so much for reading. You want to summarize what you read?
Yes, Prabhu. Whatever we are doing, we have to. We are came to this world, material world. We are Nitya Baddha Jeev. We want to do some action, right, Prabhu? We have to do some action. So bad action, good action. We have to do action. We have to eat. We have to do work. Any action. So any action we are doing, we should offer to Krishna. So that is the my understanding. And
your understanding is paramount. Very high understanding. So much. Thank you so much. You got the crux of it.
Hari bol, Prabhu.
So this is what devotees, because any work we do in the 3 modes of material nature, that binds us back again. So that's a very, of course, we may be rich, poor, doesn't matter. We're all suffering in this material world. And, maybe some may be financially sound, some may be not, but ultimately, end of the life doesn't matter. Because Prabhupada in 1975, in Bhaktivedanta Minor, he's giving a class on Radhastami, they said that the whole life purpose is that samsiddhir haritoshanam. Means what? Satisfying Krishna end of the day. If that is not done, our material opulences, whatever we have, buildings, families, bank balances, any material opulences has no value. I said everything, all are zeros. Beautiful wife is a big zero. I'm just giving honest. And our everything is a zero. That zero will have a value. A number one is there. That is Lord Sri Krishna in our lives. So if you put that one in front of zero, that becomes 10. And if you put 2 zeros, that becomes 100, 3,000. So look at the placement of one preceding zeros makes huge value. That is Lord Sri Krishna. So we try to, again, it's not easy for Gruhasthas. I understand. I have same experiences but we try as much as we can in classes. Every day, touch with Krishna, morning starting. The moment you get up, name of Krishna. The moment you open eyes, name of Krishna. The moment you put step from your bed to the floor, name of Krishna. And that way, you can make our life successful. And you don't have to go anywhere in your home with your family. And by chanting the glories of Krishna, and you can see what is happening in the spiritual world, in Bhava and Prema level. You can see the pastime, because in Kali Yuga, what is that? Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Nama Iva Kevalam Kalau Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatiranyata. In this age of Kali, only name. Kalikala Nama Rupe, Krishna Avatar. He came in the form of Krishna. Why? Because Krishna has invested all his energies, Nama, Guna, Rupa, Leela. Name, form, qualities, pastimes of Krishna all in the name. That's why our Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, what is that? Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Nama Chintamani. The name of Krishna is Chintamani. It's a wish-fulfilling desire tree. So we have, Prabhupada has given us, though we don't deserve, he given to us. We have no qualification whatsoever. We are all, what is that called? We're Nitya Baddhas. We are eternally conditioned souls. But because of his divine grace, mercy, and we are all coming to this level because of him only. Because of him only. He made us qualified. And he gave this position to all of us, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So devotees, I request New Year's resolutions on Vaikuntha Ekadasi. Take some forward steps coming to Krishna, accepting this Guru Parampara system. And we never have to come back unto this world. Prabhupada always says, this world is not for gentlemen. Absolutely correct. Cheating everywhere. Cheating everywhere. Okay, devotees, with those statements, I will try to stop here, and I will request anyone, please add if I missed anything, or if I misspoken, please excuse me. I'm not trying to intend to say anything to anyone. It's not my intention at all. I just wanted to apologize if I hurt anyone by saying something. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, anybody would like to add anything here? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Go ahead.
I think somebody tried to say something. Yeah, please go ahead.
No, Prabhu, you go ahead, Prabhu.
No, Prabhuji, you go ahead first.
No, you can go ahead for.
We go ahead to Goloka Vrindavan or where?
Yeah, Prabhu, all we go ahead to Govardhan.
Right.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, very nice class, Prabhuji. Just the 2 points I want to discuss, like one, the more you mentioned that, and one, the Ashish Prabhu reading was the translation of the sloka. I was hearing the Mohan Rupa Prabhu class from ISKCON Delhi, East Kailash, and he was mentioning the effect of this Western culture. He was giving the New Year importance. And he was saying that this New Year, whatever we are celebrating, this is not the Vedic.
Right.
So he was, like, when giving the class, he was so serious and saying that I'm telling the truth because we have to speak that. And he was mentioning the effect of this, the Western culture, saying that this affect not only the common, it's even sometimes targeting the devotees also. We are saying the devotees also saying among each other, Happy New Year, Prabhu, Happy New Year. So he was saying that sometimes it comes to the devotees also. So what he was trying to say, saying that the influence of this Western culture, and he was saying this influence, like whoever what the devotee do, they become brahmachari or even the grasta, they read the scriptures and they work. But the nowadays he was pointing some pictures, the IT, saying the work also become like people are working 18 hours sitting in front of computer just to maintain that. He was saying this is not a maintenance, this is something else, because Prabhuji reading just to maintain the body. But here, if we sit 18-20 hours just for job, so he was saying that, see what they are going to make them. This is not the intelligent. They are making them the worst than the animals. Sitting 18-20 hours drinking because they cannot focus on the work. They're going out and drinking, then come back again. So if we see that kind of environment, then how we can maintain the mode of goodness? Even forget the goodness, this is worse than ignorance.
Thank you for sharing.
So he was worrying, saying the devotee, what they do, and even the people criticize our devotees because they know the value of life and how much we can work. But they guys encourage to everybody sitting and drinking like that and do work and only work.
Hmm.
But Krishna is saying that do your work to maintain your body. Just Prabhuji reading that. So this is a total contradictory happening nowadays.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice class, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thanks so much. So anybody else would like to add? No, that's a good point he brought up. So, as you know, as Vijay brought up a good point that we claim to be devotees, but we should also have to be very careful in our day-to-day sadhana as well. Okay. Of course, we have family people, we have desires to fulfill. Nothing wrong, but put Krishna, as long as Krishna in the center, everything falls in place. Anyone else would like to comment? Devotees, please speak up. Today, the New Year's Day. You know, on Vaikuntha Ekadasi, even if you speak one word about Krishna, your life is successful. Krishna writes in eternal account, okay, this person spoke about me on today, and eternal account points will be there. I'm requesting all, I'm not demanding here, I'm requesting everyone, talk something. You see, you're all qualified, more than qualified to talk. Okay, it's not that, oh, no, you're all qualified to talk. And you all have bhakti in your heart. Express that through words, devotees here, Krishna hears.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Ol Guru Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. I wanted to say just that, just like Jagdishya Prabhuji said, that life is becoming so short that, I mean, for at least for what I see is years are passing so fast, days And if you count, oh, 3 years, oh, I was doing this, we remember it because years and days and life is so short now and passing so fast. But Prabhuji, what I feel is that how to remember Krishna is, at least for me, what is whatever little discipline that is there, that is being given by Srila Prabhupada. Firstly is the chanting, and then the Bhagavatam class that we attend in the morning with you, and then evening Gita class. At least that keeps our consciousness with Krishna all the time. So even if I'm now doing some office work, by default it automatically is, oh Krishna, how do I solve this problem? It automatically comes within your heart because your consciousness is attached to it. So this is how it helps to keep Krishna connected. Because I understand when you say keeping Krishna in the center, but practically how do I do it is by doing these things, that when I'm attending the Bhagavatam class, when I'm attending the Gita class, when I'm doing my chanting of the rounds, my consciousness is connected to Krishna. So by default, whatever chores that I'm doing throughout the day, I automatically get connected to Krishna.
Absolutely. Very good point. Yeah, connecting Krishna. That's the key method. Rupa Goswami, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha Yukta Vairagya Muchyate. He says, how connecting to Krishna. Even your work is a worship, work. See, Russians say work is worship, no need to pray God. That's not work is worship in our Prabhupada terms, our senior Vaishnavas firm. Work is worship means that we go to work and you get Lakshmi and you bring Lakshmi and serve Narayan. So that is our concept. So when you're working also, you're working for Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Also, Prabhuji, I think the best thing that happened recently, my brother in India was never. I used to talk to him about the ISKCON culture. I said ISKCON is, I don't know if I can define as a culture, as something. It's just the way of life. What Srila Prabhupada has defined is a way of life that is very enjoyable.
Right.
It has all the enjoyable things. I used to explain him all the time. And then, because of course, you can't compel anybody to go and follow
Or
it.
force him, yeah.
He forced, but so he started. He used to go to temple on and off, but not very regularly. So what he did was he joined the Bhakti Viksha, and with the Bhakti Viksha, the devotees were so lovable and so humble that they firstly he started going to the Bhakti Viksha, and then they gave them little small little things like a seva of of the shoe rack, and then some prasadam, and now he's enjoying it so much that his family is also going it. So it's just a way of life that he's now connected with Krishna so much that he keeps sending me the post of daily. So I feel like Prabhupada is given us a fantastic life. It has a food, prasadam, nice
Absolutely.
prasadam, dancing, everything is there. So it's just a way of life.
One time, Bhakti Maharaj, I remember all the time, Bhakti Maharaj, one time he said in our temple, he said, we are all intelligent people. Maharaj is so sweet, right? When he talks so sweet voice, Maharaj said, we are all intelligent people. We want best in the world. And he said, I think some Bengali person was asking Maharaj question. Maharaj was, Maharaj never get irritated. His sweet words is saying, hey, we are talking this much. Show me something better than Krishna consciousness in this world. I'll take it up. Maharaj plainly said, you show me something. See, we are all aspiring, hankering for something better. Okay.
Yes.
Now show me more than ISKCON Prabhupada mission. If something is there better, I want to take it too.
Yes.
And that was struck my heart that day. I always remember that Maharaj's sweet words. Yeah, show me something better than this. And we're all IT geeks. We look for the best thing in the world. Show me something better than this one. We'll take it up.
Yes, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, I think Prabhupada has given us this, which is not, it has no boundaries. With the Krishna movement that Prabhupada has given us, anybody can excel in anything. Like, for example, if I'm good at cooking, I can help in Govindas.
Absolutely.
If I'm good in garland, I can do that. If I'm good at computer programming, I can help in the website.
Absolutely.
I can do my seva in innumerable ways.
Absolutely.
And it's a beautiful way of serving Krishna with enjoyment. There's no hard and fast rules in how you want to serve Krishna in only one way. People enjoy kirtan. People enjoy so many good things. I mean, this is a very nice way of life, Prabhuji. I think this is the best thing that can happen to anybody, is being a part of ISKCON.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing, Mataji. Yeah. Anyone else in the call would like to add? So these are, encouraging for other devotees who are joining beginners. I don't want to say beginners, but who are new to this con, etc. It's a beautiful concept here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, I have a question. Like we always say, Vedas is incarnation of Lord Himself. Then when He wrote all the 17 Puranas, and then Narad Muni chastises him, his guru. So how we can understand, like being Lord, being incarnation of Lord, he made mistake in writing all these 17 Puranas.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll give an example that Lord Shankaracharya, right? We all know that Shankaracharya is the incarnation of Lord Shiva himself. Correct, Mataji? And he is the one who wrote Govindam Bhaja Govindam. He is the one who wrote Jagannath Astakam. And he knows Krishna is there. He's a person. But he is the head of the Mayavadi philosophy. Am I correct?
Yes, Prabhuji.
How that could be? It's a contradictory. Shankaracharya he wrote Govindam Bhaja Govindam. He knows Govinda is there. And he wrote Jagannath Astakam. It's a beautiful Kadachit Kalindi, that beautiful Jagannath Astakam. But all his disciples are Mayavadis.
Prabhuji, what I know that at that time situation
People were
was
not,
like that.
yeah,
So
right.
so he has to preach in that way, like Mayavadi, so that more people can come into that stage where
right, absolutely, because Buddha, and then after Buddha, the Shankaracharya came, then Advaita philosophy came into existence. That's called evolutionary process of the living entities. In those days, people were not matured enough to accept Krishna as a person, right? So I don't know the answer for your question why Prasdeva wrote 17 chapters, if somebody on the call could tell, but I'm thinking that it also could be something like related like that, maybe those days, I don't know, the people were not ready to accept, or I don't know, that could be the reason. Yeah. Because Vedas will teach us, but gradual process. The Vedas have been taught gradually. Okay, you do this one, like this one, this one, this one, slowly, gradual process. And when you follow Vedas, maybe after a few lifetimes, you may become a devotee. Okay, now this one, Karma Kanda section of the Vedas, then you go to Jnana Kanda section, then Upasana Kanda section, they go into Vedanta Sutras, compiled by Veda Vyasa again. Okay, now, after the Vedanta Sutra explains Atato Brahma Jignasa. That's the crux of it. At that time you come, okay, what is the purpose of my life? That is what Krishna explains also, 6th chapter. Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapajyate Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatma. After taking many, many lifetimes, you may come to Krishna. So that could be one of the analogies we can give it. Rather than that, I don't know much. Yeah, maybe our senior Vaishnavas here can help me explain that one. Amritananda Prabhu, have any or Simeshwar Prabhu, or anyone?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Those 17, when he wrote these Puranas, so we understand, and many a times in the Shastras, like as you explained about Adi Shankaracharya, things can seem baffling and even contradictory.
Yes.
So the first principle we need to have is that first requirement, it becomes a test of our faith. I mean, I'll share how I approach this. It becomes the test of your faith. So first is that whatever Shastra is always the truth, even if there is something which appears to be contradictory, or even if it is something which is, how they say, mind-blowing. So because our understanding is always limited, forever it will be limited. And this is talking about something unlimited. The second principle is that rather than us speculate about, oh, perhaps it may be like this, or give some kind of logic, or give some kind of a reason, is a dangerous thing, simply because we are imperfect and we could reach a wrong conclusion. Then, which means that we should go and ask someone who is a senior in this regard. and ask their, this is the question. So having a question like Mataji, you asked in a humble manner, wanting to know rather than wanting to challenge. That's the third principle. Now, why Vyasadeva, who is Krishna himself? You can also look at it the other way, is Mahaprabhu. The internal reason is that he wanted to understand the mood. Krishna wanted to understand the mood of Radha Rani. So how can there be something which Krishna doesn't understand? Krishna is all knowledgeable. So like this, there are several instances. So what we can see is one way, and I'm making it, I think it was either Romapad Swami or Jayadvaita Swami, my memory fails me, is Romapad Maharaj, to something in a similar where there was a contradictory thing, and Maharaj has given us that Krishna is absolute and Krishna is supreme. It's always his will. He's not dependent on anyone or anything. Unki marzi, it is his wish. Whatever he wants to do is his wish. So if we understand just this little simple thing, that everything is Krishna's wish. So if Krishna wants to appear as what may seem to us as fallible, it is his wish. So an example is someone asked Prabhupada, trying to be smart, he put Prabhupada a trick question: can Krishna create something which is so heavy that he even can't lift it? So if the answer is yes, that means Krishna is not really God, because he doesn't have enough strength to lift something, and Krishna is all powerful. And if he says no, still Krishna is not God, because there is something which he can't do. He has some limitation. So Prabhupada's answer to this is that yes, Krishna can lift something which even he can't lift it. And in the next instance, he will be able to lift it, simply because his potencies are not limited. They keep growing and growing and growing. So here, from Maharaj's understanding, that one is, it is his wish. It is his wish, and always whatever Krishna does, any of his Leela, it is always for the instruction of the common man. In his mercy, he wants to bring us all back home to Godhead. So there are several, either he does it personally through himself, or he does it through his devotees. Arjuna was totally bewildered. How can a pure devotee be bewildered on the battlefield? Arjuna was having all these questions, right? And that's how Bhagavad Gita got spoken. So it is for the common person that we do. So how did Vyasadeva miss speaking about Krishna? And there are so many instances. Krishna always wants to give the glory to his devotee. Narad Muni is his devotee. He's taken the role of his guru. So one instruction we can get from here is that even God accepts guru, and even he accepts that chastisement of the guru. So tomorrow is when our guru or a senior Vaishnav chastises us, what should our behavior be? So like this, there are these instructions and things like that. But of course, there is Simeshwar Prabhu, who can help understand this point. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, wonderful. It's nicely explained. So let's understand all the context of it. We know that initially it was all Shruti, all the Vedic knowledge in the oral perceptions. All oral, and nothing was in the compiled or written format. So the Lord appeared.
Apaurusheya.
Apaurusheya, literary incarnation. So Lord was trying to now give the Vedic understanding to all the common people, everybody. That's why the Puranas, even we can see that Puranas are divided into three kinds of. There are Puranas in the mode of ignorance, those who are, and Puranas in the mode of passion, and also Puranas are in the mode of goodness. So that everybody can understand some way or other, that they can connect with the Lord. So the main purpose of Srila Vyasadeva was to somehow or other bring everybody to the directly and indirectly to the Krishna, to the Supreme Lord. So some way or other they can worship, like some people are worshipping the Kali. That's in the part of one of the Purana. And that says that, yes, you are eating, right? Even if you are eating, at least you eat and offer to the Lord. That's why they are offering the meat to the Kali, sacrifices and so many things, and their way of life. And somehow you connect to the divinity. So that's actually in the many types of the people. So this is all compiled for the different types of the people. Then what happened? Then Srila Vyasadeva came to the proper understanding after compiled all this. We know that even Mahabharata was, took the help of Mahaganapati. Ganapati was actually written down. The Mahabharata took the help of, because it's so vast, the Vedic knowledge is so vast. So everything actually, that's why our Vedic culture is actually mentioned through the scriptures. Srila Vyasadeva put down everything through the examples or the history or Puranas. Then Srila Vyasadeva compiled all this and understood that I didn't glorify enough the Supreme Lord. That's where actually Srila Vyasadeva got into the despondent or disappointment or kind of little sadness that I spent all this, but I couldn't glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead enough in my oral literature. So that's where Srila Naradadeva appeared. This is mentioned in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavad. Srila Naradadeva appeared, and this is the time Naradadeva also understood the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavan from the Brahmadev. So the spiritual master of Naradadeva is Brahmadev, and the spiritual master of Vyasadeva is Naradadev. So this is the disciplic succession. And the spiritual master of Brahma is Krishna himself. He's spoken all this to Brahma to Narada. Then Narada came and saw that the despondence of Vyasadeva and understood that the reason for it. So this is the spiritual master. Spiritual master can understand the distress of a disciple. So then Narada Dev mentioned that I understand, and you are feeling that you are not described enough, glorified enough the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's where Srila Vyasadeva started to compile the glorification, the descriptions of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So yes, this is to fulfill and to bring everybody to the divinity, to the Supreme Lord. And that's where Bhagavatam is Amala Puran compared to all the other Puranas. Bhagavatam is considered as Amala Puran, which is far beyond. And also Srimad Bhagavatam is considered as the essence of Vedanta Sutra. Vedas are, the ultimate end. Veda Anda means the ultimate end of the Veda is Vedanta. And then that's the essence of Veda. And all the Puranas are actually the translation of this Vedanta Sutra. Then the Vedanta. And all the details of like Bhagavad Gita is actually the essence of the Vedanta and Vedanta Sutra. So the Puranas are also the essence of, or the translation of all this Vedic knowledge in different people, so that they can take it some way or other, they can connect and bring to the, So then what happens? Like for an example, sometimes people ask this question, what about the Christian religion? And they do follow all these things. What about different other religions? Yes, these are all the different ways that they can come to the understanding of Lord some way or other. But when it comes to the pure devotional platform and to understand the Supreme Lord, then they get purified enough, and they get purify, and eventually they'll come to this pure Krishna consciousness or pure, the service of the Lord. So that's why the Bhagavatam is also there for the Supreme Lord, for the pure devotees of the Lord. Then also it's mentioned that also as the Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur is also an incarnation of Srila Vyasadeva. And also that same Vyasadeva incarnation compiled the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavad and then Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is considered as the topmost secret, the most confidential knowledge, the topmost secret of all this. So that's why the Prema Pumarto Mahan, which reveals the love of the Godhead, is the ultimate. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is revealing that, so that devotees of the most fortunate devotees can come to that platform and take up this Krishna consciousness. So yeah, this way, that's my kind of understanding, and I don't know it helps or not, but
yeah, actually, I also heard that the Vyasadeva in the highest ecstatic devotional service, at that point, he wrote Srimad Bhagavad, means he was fully matured in his devotional. Then he came to talk about Krishna, because he's also evolutionary process for him, Vedas, Vedanta, blah, blah, blah. Then finally, so it is like a, what you call progressive bhakti for him as well. And he came to the highest devotional ecstatic symptom. Then he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, glorified Krishna. I don't know, I heard that one also.
Yeah. The another thing, which is Acharyas mentioned that in the bhakti process, so like always there is a feeling of separation, the feeling of the devotion when it matures and when it comes to that point. And whatever we do, we will not satisfy with ourselves. We will do more and more and more. And so that's also another example. So when these great personalities like literary or Shakti Aveshavadar, we call it as Shakti Aveshavadar, the literary incarnation of the Supreme Lord. And so then they have, it's not the just single purpose of it. Whenever they appear, whenever they come, they're everything is lessons for us as well. Yeah, this way we can take it. And
Yeah, I think, as you said, Amrita Prabhu nicely brought that our logic, the way of our logic will not work there, because, our material logic, we come with these questions, nothing wrong in that, but that will not work that way.
No, it's a wonderful question.
Yeah, definitely.
Wonderful question. And
yes, that's anybody could get that question. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, should have that such kinds of questions so that we understand deep and understand more into the science, the intrinsic or confidential aspects of all this, right? So that it's very nice.
Prabhupada said, surrender with intelligence, don't surrender your intelligence. So the questions asked in a mood of humility, of wanting to learn, Prabhupada encouraged that. But questions asked in the mood of challenging, prove it to me like this. That is very detrimental for understanding.
Definitely.
Understanding. And end of the day, what we were talking in Sunday school yesterday is Krishna is unlimited and we are limited. How can the unlimited ever understand what the how can the limited ever understand what the unlimited is? It's only through mercy. And mercy comes in the companionship of Vaishnavas, and mercy flows from the Guru Parampara. So the Guru, now someone may say, oh, I'm not yet initiated, what to do? Then, okay, there is Srila Prabhupada, who's the Shiksha Guru of everyone. So what you're doing, reading his books, discussing amongst themselves, question answers, that's how that mercy comes. So always ask questions.
Yeah, always. That's very, very, this always says that the three things happens actually when we come to the association and discuss the this transcendental knowledge. One who hears gets purification. One who speaks gets the purification. Third is actually one who asks the question also gets the purification, because they are wanted to know, inquisitiveness, they all get.
Yeah, those who hear and ask questions, they get double benefit. Absolutely. Yeah.
Is it who asking this question?
I think Sarita Mataji.
Oh, I said,
yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for.
Sure, Mataji, anytime. Yeah, I think we went beyond our assigned time.
No, actually, today is a very auspicious. It's mentioned that we should not sleep,
Oh, really? Oh my God.
discuss and converse.
Krishna Katha.
That's a real fasting.
Mhm. Without prasadam.
Third prasadam.
Wow.
That's the biggest austerity for me. No
Me
prasad.
too. Me too.
When I was a child, I was very naughty, and my mother used to punish me by not giving me food. And,
Oh,
and I used
that is
to
the
promise
biggest
I won't do
punishment.
this again. For me, hunger is one of the biggest. And
Challenge.
Bhim Ekadashi is like, oh God. Yeah, but
Yeah, it's very nice. And today is a very special day, actually. It's called Surgavadi Ekadashi. He knows what is that. This is the day the Supreme Lord climbed on the Garuda and comes through the world through the door. That's a Dwara, or called seventh gate, or seventh heaven, seventh gate. And as Lord comes and liberate those who are pious and devotees and observe this fasting, shower the blessings and the mercy on this day. And it's also many temples are actually celebrate this as I think Tirupati temple, Sri Rangam, Guruvayur temple, and many temples, they have a door.
Door open.
They open that only on this.
Yes, absolutely.
People goes through this door and then believe that, one who goes through this door, they will attain the abode of Vaikunta. And so also today is marks as the, the Gajendra Moksha. This is the day also Lord appeared to rescue, to liberate Gajendra. And
I didn't know about that. Thank you.
And this is the day also the Chakshushamanu, the appearance of or beginning of Chakshushamanu on this day. And this is also as per the scientific, what is called the theory that this is the day Earth goes fastest or farthest to the outer space, or in the. That's why in the Sankranti is coming, and that's called this region. The sun and the northern. And so that means it goes that entire potency is actually moves towards the outer space. I mean, not so that means those who are stuck here can also exit, that's what it is. Also another, I mean, I just read it. I don't know how true, but it makes sense, some extent. And also Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita, this month is called Margari or Margashirsha.
Margashirsha.
Yeah, Krishna says that among the months, I am the Margashirsha month. This is very powerful, very important. And today is the day actually, and this is the first Ekadashi of, it's beginning of the Ekadashi on this day. This is the day actually Krishna killed Mura demon. That's why Krishna get this name, Murari. So we know that the pastimes of, Krishna, Mura was a demon and he was very powerful and nobody can defeat him. All the demigods, he was always attacking the demigods and everybody was so much in distress because of the demon. They all approached Brahma, and Brahma said, I gave this all board and I don't have any capacity to, take out that. And they approached Shiva. Shiva said, no, it's beyond my limit. She was so powerful because of the boon and the penance and all those things. And they approached the Supreme Lord, and Supreme Lord said, in due course of time, I will take care of it. Then Lord always likes, this equal combat of, powerful chivalry rest. So Lord fought with this Mura demon for quite some time, and then, Lord was enjoying it. The Lord actually took a rest in one of the cave, and that's the time this Mura demon came to kill, and he thought, but Lord was actually in such a yoga nidra, and also bring to the world that on this day that everybody can eradicate their sins. So Lord was also giving the mercy to the people in general. And then this Mura demon came and saw that Lord was lying down there. And all on a sudden, when Mura demon tried to attack from the body of Lord, the internal potency, Yogamaya, appeared. And that Yogamaya is killed, Yogamaya killed the Mura demon. Basically, it was basically the potency of the Lord. And that appearance, that the personification of that potency is known as Ekadashi. So this day, and what happens, and the power of Ekadashi, all the sin personified becomes, afraid of on the appearance of Ekadashi. Ekadashi is a Tithi, it's a personification. That's why this is the day all the sin personified or sin actually take the shelter of grains and beans. So when they take the shelter of grains and beans, the fear of Ekadashi, that's why I mentioned that on this day, nobody should eat grains and beans because of their eating sins, and they accumulate all the sins in one who eats it's not only their sin, they accumulate all the sins which comes into the grains and beans, and they can, get into it. That's why it's very important that we remember the Ekadashi on this day and worship the Supreme Lord and fast. And then one can attain the liberation and attain the supreme abode. So this is the day actually marks the beginning of Ekadashi, this first Ekadashi on the calendar. And that's why it's also very important. It's also called Putrada Ekadashi. It's mentioned that Supreme Lord was explaining this to Yudhishthira Maharaj, that one who observed this fasting, even if they have this the problem with not having sons or daughters, or they can attain that. There are many stories mentioned also there with respect to that. So in many ways, this is very, very, very important, powerful Ekadashi. And it is mentioned that one has to do 5 things on this day of Ekadashi. One is actually to worship the Supreme Lord. And the second thing, hear the Krishna Katha. And third is observe the fasting. Fourth is read from Bhagavad Gita. And then fifth is actually complete pure conscious of the Lord, remembrance of the Lord. So this way one can purify all his past, all the lifetimes of sins can purify, eradicate, just by observing, just by, remembering the Supreme Lord and taking the fasting. It's all respect. It's very, very auspicious. It's not that just this is all transcendental, this is all spiritual science, that how one can, elevate himself to the level of Krishna consciousness or purity or the spiritual realm, and, like that. Yeah. So it's very wonderful.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I may be permitted. Jagdish Sima Prabhu made a very important point about this. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. So if it is okay, I can read a short message from
please.
His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Swami on the significance of New Year.
Yeah, please,
So,
please.
I'm reading a message from Bhakti Rasamrit Swami Maharaj. Maharaj says, as we enter a new year, it is worth remembering that ultimately in the material world, nothing is really new. The fundamental issues are the same. Only the names and forms change. Birth, death, old age, and disease will continue to reign supreme. The threefold miseries of material existence will continue to afflict everybody. However, what can make a new year really new and worthwhile and fresh is taking to Krishna consciousness with renewed vigor. Krishna and everything about Krishna is Nitya Nava Navayamana, transcendently ever new and fresh. The same names, messages, pastimes, etc. of Krishna give renewed joy and realization as we delve deeper into Krishna consciousness. So let us make this year really new and blissful by immersing ourselves further in the nectarian ocean that is Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, very wonderful, very powerful. Very powerful. Thank you for sharing that, Prabhuji. It's very, very, very powerful statement.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's very. It's also Jagadish Mahaprabhu was bringing that point of people are imitating, that have a habit of imitating. So that's the first symptom of that we are slowly getting into the clutches of Maya. Yeah, we get some pleasure, we get some kind of, this is all material concepts of, I mean, there are so many ways we can see it. What ultimately happens when we bring all this into our consciousness, okay, let's celebrate this happy new year and let's celebrate like the other outer world celebrates. Let's do this, let's do that, let's do that, let's do this, okay, this is, but why eventually what happens, we are actually entering into the trap of the Maya or the external energy. So then slowly we get into the grip of the Maya. Okay, now let's do that. There's no problem. Let's do this. Oh, there's no problem. Let's go on for the celebrations. Yeah, what is the problem? I'm chanting. So, so slowly we can all grip into it. That's what Prabhuji was mentioning. Understanding is that. So we should all beware of this trap, this ditches in the world. So that, yes, I mean, we say Happy Krishna Conscious New Year. That means some way or other we can put ourselves in the conscious of Krishna. When we celebrate, we say Happy Krishna Conscious Birthday. This all, some way or other, we take that opportunity to bring that person to the Krishna consciousness. We say, instead of Happy Birthday, we say Hare Krishna to you. In similar way, so that somehow or other, we are not completely aloof, but we are taking all this and transforming all this to the service of Krishna. Like Srila Prabhupada asked, somebody asked Srila Prabhupada one time, Srila Prabhupada was in a Rolls Royce car or the, watch or something like that. So Srila was, yes, I use it. I use it for the purpose of Krishna. So we can use it for the purpose of Krishna, but we should be very careful and beware of, like, we are not Srila Prabhupada, we are like ordinary people. So that we need to be more cautious of the trap of everything, the Maya's trap. So that was, that we need to be very much aware of it.
Hey Krishna Prabhuji, I'm dropping off. I have my Bhagavatam class coming up soon.
Oh, you have another class? Wonderful. Wow.
No. 9 o'clock I have Bhagavatam class, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
9 o'clock?
9 to 9:20.
Every evening?
What, Prabhu?
Monday evening?
Wow, Monday evening, 9, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Evening. Morning, we have every day 5:45 to 6:30.
Okay.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much,
No,
Govardhan Prabhu. Devotees, I think if there is nothing else, let's conclude. Anything else anybody would like to add? Yeah. Okay. So let's conclude. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining today. Very auspicious day of Vaikuntha Ekadashi. So let's pay our obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees of the Lord and all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Vancha kalpatarupasya Vaishnava Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Vaishnava ki Jai.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, Govardhan Prabhu.
Thank you, Govardhan.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.